May 1, 1994, the day that Formula One changed forever. Lap 7 of the 1994 San Marino Grand Prix, in Imola, changed the history of Formula One. Ayrton Senna, the greatest driver of that time, lost his life after a serious accident at the Tamburello corner. In this video, we will see the background and context that led to this fateful date. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and follow us on our other networks so you don't miss any of our Formula One content. In Formula One, there was confidence regarding the safety of the cars and circuits. There hadn't been a fatal crash on a race weekend since 1982 when Riccardo Paletti lost his life at the Canadian Grand Prix, and in a Formula One car since Elio De Angelis' accident, testing at Paul Ricard in 1986. Meanwhile, the series was experiencing a period of splendor with great duels between Nigel Mansell, Alain Prost, and Ayrton Senna. After the retirement of his greatest rivals, Senna arrived as the top favorite for the 1994 season, after two difficult seasons in 1992 and 1993. He signed with the dominant Williams-Renault team, something he had wanted to do for a long time, but his transfer had been blocked by a clause in his archrival Alain Prost's contract. Williams-Renault had revolutionized F1 with the introduction of important innovations, such as active suspension, traction control, automatic transmission, and ABS brakes. They had overwhelmingly dominated the 1992 and 1993 seasons, first with Mansell and then with Prost. Therefore, the expectation, with the meeting of the best team of the moment with the considered best driver, was enormous, and an equal or better year was expected for the team in 1994. But the FIA, with the mission of balancing the competition, giving the driver a fundamental place back, and generating excitement in the races, implemented a series of regulatory changes that greatly affected the Williams team, such as the prohibition of active suspension and the restriction on the use of electronic devices. From the beginning, Ayrton Senna did not feel comfortable with the new Williams FW16. He even explored the chance of running with an updated version of the 1993 car regulations. Despite this, confidence was great, and when the first race was held in Interlagos, Ayrton's home, he was still a favorite, and that feeling grew even more when the Brazilian took pole position. But that day, things didn't work out. Ayrton led until the first pit stop, where he lost the lead to Michael Schumacher. Then, while chasing the German, he made an uncharacteristic mistake, spun, and stalled his engine. He dropped out, and Benetton's driver won. The disappointment in Brazil was followed by another one at the Pacific Grand Prix in Ida. Senna took pole position again, but his GP would only last a few meters. After losing the lead in the first corner, he was touched by Mika Häkkinen's McLaren, which led to his retirement. Michael Schumacher won again. That is why when arriving at Imola, the pressure was great on Senna. The top favorite was without points, 20 behind the championship leader. The Brazilian psyched himself up by saying that the championship would start from there for him, in the San Marino GP, the start of the European season. In addition to the personal challenge, the atmosphere at Imola was also charged with tension due to Rubens Barrichello's accident and the tragic death of Austrian driver Roland Ratzenberger during qualifying. This loss shocked the entire Formula One community and particularly affected Senna, who felt a great responsibility towards safety in the sport. On Sunday morning, the drivers met and agreed to reform the GPDA, Grand Prix Drivers Association, to ask for greater security. Amidst this mix of expectations and challenges, Formula One fans were preparing to witness an epic battle on the track. Ayrton Senna, with his indisputable talent and fierce determination, was ready to show that he was still the best driver in the world, despite the difficulties. The 1994 San Marino Grand Prix promised to be a race full of emotions, rivalry, and determination. No one could have foreseen the tragic fate that awaited on lap 7 of the race and how that day would change Formula One history forever.